Boom, boom. I hope finger guns don't get us demonetized, but we are live and it is a blessed, wonderful, beautiful. Ain't gonna lie to you, a little bit toasty. Sleepless Friday night, and we're kicking off the weekend sleepless shenanigans with Pull Up a Chair, episode 110. Thank you to everybody for being locked in, tuned in, whether you're watching live or watching afterwards, where I get to rant and banter about all the madness that's unfolded this past week in the simulation that we do call life in the universe that we exist in currently. Maybe could be a parallel one, but no, hopefully everybody's having a blessed, wonderful, beautiful, sleepless Friday night, kicking off this weekend of sleepless shenanigans. It is your host, the Crim de la Crim, the one that they do, in fact, call him Mr. El Tucker Tente, the ultimate sensei, aka we'll save the rest for about, how about an hour and a half? We'll see you then. But no, this is Pull Up a Chair, though. Very excited to talk about a lot of the new music that's came out, a lot of the stuff I've been watching. I'm going to be having some gaming clips up soon on the TikTok. Thank you to everybody who's been locked in. Follow me on there as well. Appreciate all the love, all the comments as well over on Reddit and, of course, over in the Twitter streets. Appreciate y'all always as well. Thank you for being locked in, and hit that subscribe button and go follow me on one of those sites or all of them. If you'd like, you know where to find me, at capital TUKE, capital LENKKU with the initials reversed. You know how that one goes. But no, it's a blessed, wonderful, beautiful, sleepless Friday night. Hope you guys have been having a blessed, wonderful, beautiful week yourselves, waking up with smiles on and reminding yourselves of things you're grateful for and looking in the mirror and saying, I love you and all that good stuff. But I'll tell you somebody that this past week I don't think has been waking up with a smile on. So we're going to start with the ladies first, ladies specifically. I am a Barb and I am a Hovenger. So it's going to be kind of hard for me to play the neutral ground here, but that's what I'm going to have to do. But Nicki Minaj, for those of you that didn't see, came out earlier this week. Definitely made her presence be felt on socials, as she's never one to shy away from. And she made it be known that she is now accusing Jay-Z of owing her $200 million. Now, where she came up with that figure, I have no idea. Why he would owe her said money, I have even more so no idea. So it's just completely speculation and trying to speculate on kind of just where Nicki Minaj is right now, really, when you think about it. I feel like in recent memory, Nicki's most remembered, not for her music, which is not normal. She's mainly known for her antics outside of the music and stuff that she says either on her Instagram lives, stuff that she posts on Twitter. I really don't know why. I don't think it's a fight for relevancy thing because she's Nicki Minaj. She doesn't have to fight to be relevant. She could literally do anything and it's relevant. So, I mean, she knows what she's doing when she puts out a tweet like that. You know it's going to catch headlines and it's going to catch fire and her barbs are going to ride for her and the people that are anti-Nicki are going to ride against her. I mean, it's just what's been going on for the past, seems like 15 years with the woman. I love Nicki Minaj, but I also love Jay-Z. I know Jay-Z seems to be the bullseye that a lot of people want to throw darts at over the past couple of years, which I don't necessarily agree with. Maybe you guys know a little bit more about as to why Nicki Minaj would be suing Jay-Z. I'm all ears and all eyes to see what you guys think or what you guys know is the case with that. However, I figured we'd kick off the episode bringing it up because I know it caught a lot of tension on the timelines, caught a lot of attention, a lot of people talking about it, got people stirred up. However, though, yeah, I play the middle ground here. I love Nicki. I love Jay. I'm not quite sure where this beef is spawned from and why Jay-Z would owe her $200 million. But hopefully if Nicki is owed money, truthfully, then hopefully she is able to get that money back. Obviously, she deserves it. She worked for it. But I just figured we'd start off with that. Another thing I wanted to kind of kick off the episode with before we dive into all this amazing new music that's came out within the last week, that's actually why I put off the episode from yesterday to today, because I just wanted to give you guys a brand new, fresh review on the Clips album and everything that came out today. So before we get to that, though, I said this 3 episodes ago, and I'm going to reiterate it, and I'm going to stand on business 20 toes down. Fuck it, 30 toes. We're past 7 seconds. I can let a PH go. But no, seriously, something I said a couple episodes ago that I really did want to reiterate. I think we have to officially stop the XXL ciphers. Dead them. Stop the freestyle, stop the ciphers. We speculated on how they were going to sound a couple weeks ago, and now we have heard the freestyles from, I believe, every individual in the class. And I really just think XXL needs a complete rebrand. We need to stop the freestyles, stop the ciphers, or at least not make every artist have to do them. Because I don't ever want to hear Ian rap ever again. I'll stand on business again. We'll spin the block on Ian. I don't want to hear Ian rap ever again. Over a beat, over a song. I don't want to hear him do Blackface Future. I don't want to hear him do any of that bullshit. I'm over Ian. He's making a mockery of hip hop, and it clearly showed in that freestyle. If you watch it and tell me differently, this is one of those rare cases where I will tell you that you are wrong. Because I heard that freestyle not once, but twice, because I wanted to make sure what I just heard. And that was hands down the worst XXL freestyle I've ever heard. That wasn't a freestyle. That wasn't a rhyme scheme. That was a mockery of hip hop, and that's exactly what we speculated on him for doing. So, Ian, how we ever let you put out a record and get any traction behind you or put you on a stage with a microphone, I believe those people that were in charge of that decision owe all of us an apology, because that was absolutely atrocious and made a complete mockery of an art form that I love and hold dear to my heart. So fuck you, Ian, for that one. I'll let that one fly. Fuck the monetization. G-Lo, you ruined it. Nice. Good job, G-Lo. Way to go. Now I can't even listen to Tweaker the same way again without tweaking, because your freestyle was in the same bucket of ass that Ian's was in. So you should be ashamed of yourself as well, G-Lo. That was awful. Samara Sin, she had a good one. Let me give credit where credit's also due. I don't want to just have the hater hat on. Samara Sin, I thought, had an incredible freestyle. That was somebody that clearly wanted to do it, was looking forward to doing it, and delivered on it. The other people looked like that was the last thing that they wanted to do. And to be honest, I don't blame them, because they had no business doing it in the first place. I have not heard, I believe, Ray Vaughn's full one yet. However, though, I know Ray Vaughn's going to be rapping like the rents due on it. That goes without saying. But no, G-Lo and Ian, you're on my hit list. You're on my shit list, big time. You're in my doghouse. That was awful. I am scared as to how the ciphers are going to sound with Cardo on the production, based on what I've heard now, freestyle-wise. But yeah, no, Ian, broken hand and all, I'm going to see you when I see you. And we're going to have to let God sort you out from all the bums, from all the bones and blood that I fucking leave all over you, bud. I don't like no Ian no more. Got no love for me. But now on to a high note, though, something that I really was looking a lot forward to talking about is new music reviews, my favorite segment, as always, on Pull Up a Chair. So we're going to start with last week, and we're going to work our way up to the current time. So with that being said, let's kick it back to... Well, first off, last week, I thought we had an amazing weekend, the same way we've had an amazing weekend this weekend. Last weekend, start with the singles. We had Ski Mask the Sun God, Catch Me Outside 2, which he's back outside with another hit. I'm not mad at him spinning the block, doing that flow again. I thought the way that he did a callback to the first record was genius. Shout out Ski Mask. I love his flow. I thought that was an incredible record. You got Pray for the Gang by A$AP Rocky, which I wasn't really too big on Pray for the Gang, to be honest. I kind of thought that with it being an A$AP Rocky single gearing up for a new album, I kind of expected a little bit more out of Rocky, to be honest. You got a new single with Chance the Rapper, Lil Wayne, and Smino called Tree. Love that record. I thought that was a great way for Chance to step back outside and get his toes wet in the water and kind of get a feel for the temp. I thought if Chance is going to keep coming like that, I'm here for it. I think we could get a Chance career revival. There's a chance, at least, all right? You can't rule it out. There's a chance as far as Chancellor Bennett goes. We got Benny the Butcher dropped Summer 25 single. I thought that was incredible. Love me some new Benny. JID also dropped the Prelux EP, which I thought that was incredible. Eminem had a great verse on that. You had Jacob Fatu drop a record featuring Rikishi Fatu called Hello, which I know he caught some slack for that. But that's not a debate that I can chime in on as far as the Jacob Fatu, if he should say the N-word or not, debate goes. That's not for me to decide. I don't think he should, but again, not for me to decide. We had two new incredible Brent Faiyaz singles. We got Tony Soprano and Peter Pan. Tony Soprano I've already listened to about 15 times. I highly recommend checking out Tony Soprano, capital H-I-G-H. I thought he absolutely smoked that. I did go back and hear an album that dropped a couple weeks ago that I actually didn't get a chance to fully dive into, which was Cash Rules by Kai Cash. There's a record on there I highly recommend checking out, capital H-I-G-H. It's called Cartier Santos, featuring Tank God, track 5 on that album. That's hands down my favorite standout on there. But then I do believe that leads us to some meat and potatoes, because there is a single that came out that immediately got the timeline talking, whether it be good or bad. He soared up the charts. He's expected to debut at number 2 on the Billboard. And just in case you missed it, the record is called What Did I Miss by the Iceman, the Boy, the Sixth God, but Mr. Wheelchair Jimmy. But no, What Did I Miss? I can't say enough amazing things about it. I said a couple episodes ago that Nokia or Outside were going to be Song of the Summer, but my Song of the Summer, it is here, and it is called What Did I Miss? I love the angle that Drake took and his approach to the record as well. Stepping outside with it and getting back into the limelight. I know, obviously, some people have said, what did I miss? What do you mean you didn't go anywhere? Then you're missing the point, because he's talking about how in the hell, after all these years of building these relationships with people like LeBron James and people like A$AP Rocky, that just on the drop of a dime just decided to just completely ditch Drake in the dust and pop out at the pop-out show and show their loyalty to the other side. And I personally think that angle's amazing. I thought what he said on the record was great. I love the hook. I love the angle that he's coming at now from it a year later, now that the dust is, settled, even though has it ever really. But I think his approach to this was genius. I thought it was brilliant. I really, really loved the production on it as well. I loved how he closed it out with when I was giving those wires and bookings to y'all, and what did I miss? Because he made a lot of great points. I think that there's about to be a Drake revenge tour that we're going to embark on, and I don't think he's going to miss a single city. I think he's going to make sure he goes to every nook and cranny of every alleyway, of every township, of every city, every state, every country, Turks and Caicos, every body of water you can think of on this revenge tour, to show everybody that the Iceman, the Sixth God, ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. He ain't freaking leaving. But no, I think he really did just show out, though, incredibly with it. I thought it was great timing, dropping on the 4th as well, the way he did, especially with the visuals as well. And, of course, him going around in that Iceman truck was awesome. Somebody called him a pussy. He goes, oh, don't hold back now. Don't hold back now. You stand on that now. You get folded up right now, pussy. You get folded up right now, pussy. Just like that. See, I can do a better Bieber than I can do a better Drake when he's trying to do a different accent, because you're technically trying to do 3 different voices at once. But you get folded up right now. You get folded up right now. You stand on that, cowboy. You stand on that, pussy. You stand on that. You stand on that. You stand on that. It does make it fun to say, though. But no, I thought that new Drake record was absolutely incredible. Gotta wet the whistle a little bit. But then I saw that leads us to the new music of the day. Speaking of Drake, I guess we'll kick it over to the other Canadian, because Canada strikes back. Canada is like the empire, man. This is crazy. Justin Bieber announced yesterday surprise album Swag, which came out at midnight, which, keep in mind, I have not got to listen to it outside of a couple records yet. But I think Bieber's getting his shit off on it. I love seeing some new Bieber. The Canadians, man, they're not holding back this summer. They're coming in full-fledged, baby. But no, Canada's striking back. I saw there was a rumor that Drake, which now we know it's debunked, but Drake's apparently told Justin Bieber, I'm just quoting the internet here, Drake told Justin Bieber to announce a surprise album, to get clips, to drop Chains and Whips early, so that Drake at midnight could have put out a new diss record and stepped on the Clips album. People have mental illness. I never once thought that was actually going to happen. But it did make for an intriguing thought yesterday. But as you know, as of now, that was clearly not the case. But no, we got new Justin Bieber. It turns out that the Standing on Business was a part of the rollout. It wasn't clocking to me that he was doing a rollout the entire time for an album called Swag. I should have thought about it, because who has more swag than Justin Bieber? Nobody. You don't stand next to his car on any sidewalk unless you got a death wish, brother, because he's got something to tell you, dude. What's going to happen when Bieber Mania, brother, runs wild on you, dude? It's not going to clock to you, brother, when Justin Bieber's standing on business now, is it, dude? But no, Justin Bieber put out a new album. Surprise, surprise. Like I said, Canada's striking back. They got their two, Palpatine and Darth Vader. I actually don't know which one in that case would be Palpatine. I think Justin Bieber would be more like Darth Maul, and Drake would be Darth Vader, probably. Drake Vader? Darth Bieber? Could be. But no, Canada strikes back. New Drake music, new Bieber music. Gotta love it. And Let God Sort 'Em Out, baby. New Clips album out now. My goodness. Off the top of my head, my three favorites, which, by the way, I watched the Clips Tiny Desk as well, but incredible album, Let God Sort 'Em Out. Got to sit with a little bit more, but as of now, I do have it as the front runner for album of the year, excluding Balloonerism, because you know my Mac Miller stand-em, it ain't going nowhere. But overall, no bias included, I truly, firmly believe that this is the front runner and will end up securing the album of the year position, but we got to let time tell on how that will unfold. However, though, I am extremely just head over heels with how great this album is. I mean, immediately last night, wifey went to bed. I shot down the stairs, speaker on, brew cracked, blunt rolled, cigs aplenty, you know it. But I thought every feature on Let God Sort 'Em Out just absolutely delivered. Pharrell, turns out he's been hiding great beats for 7 years when we thought Pharrell possibly fell off. Nope, turns out it just he makes sure to save his great beats for Clips and for Despicable Me. So if you ain't one of the Minions or a member of the Clips, you're probably not getting one of Pharrell's best beats anymore. It's just not happening, Captain. But no, I thought everything from the production to the bars to the verses to No Malice to Push to Nas to Tyler's verse on POV, Kendrick's verse on Chains and Whips. You had Ab Liva on Inglourious Bastards, which I love the Tarantino reference as well on that. But I think Let God Sort 'Em Out as a front runner for album of the year right off the rip. I'll go ahead and say it. Rip that Band-Aid right off and just let it be known. As far as great rap, I mean, you get a lot of you think it's going to stick and then it don't. But this is one of those that's going to stick. It's going to be timeless. It's going to be classic. You're going to be listening to it in 6 months going, oh, shit, I didn't even catch that bar. But after watching the Clips Tiny Desk, I learned that on Birds Don't Sing, Push was actually talking about his late moms, and that Malice was actually talking about last conversation that he had with his pops as well. So that just makes those verses even more meaningful. But yeah, no, Let God Sort 'Em Out. Incredible album, incredible production, incredible penmanship, incredible verses. They might be Incredibles 3. They could have called the album Incredibles 3 with just how incredible it is. Did I say incredible already? But no, really just phenomenal album. Absolutely love it. Top to bottom. 3 favorite records off the top of my head on it would be POV with Tyler, Chains and Whips, Kendrick Lamar, and then give me Inglourious Bastards. And who knows, maybe you'll hear 1 or 2 of them. Maybe you'll hear all of them tonight on Sleepless Radio. Who's to know? But could be. But no, I'm looking really forward to just sitting with that album more and just really just diving into it and catching shit that I know I haven't caught yet, and seeing on my favorite shift too, because as you know, that always tends to be a reoccurring theme with me. But something else I also wanted to talk about now that we talked about some new music reviews and talked about all the madness that's unfolded in the music realm. As you guys know, I do love sharing what I've been watching and seeing recently, because obviously I got a lot more time to be filled in on content and staying up to date with everything. I saw that Scarlett Johansson, props to Scarlett Jo for becoming the highest paid actor / actress of all time. Shout out Scarlett Jo. I can't believe that one of the first movies, if not the first movie that I ever saw her in, was actually her being a side role in 8-Legged Freaks. So fun fact, if you guys didn't know that, a very young Scarlett Jo in 8-Legged Freaks. So young that R. Kelly probably shouldn't be watching that movie. But if you guys haven't seen it, though, do recommend checking that out. Crazy to see, though, how far she's came. I mean, you got that Black Widow money. You got that Jurassic World money. I mean, right there, those two alone, my goodness. You got that Avengers Infinity War money. You got that Endgame money. Woo! We ain't checking pockets over here, but I know that Birkin filled to the brim, baby. But shout out Scarlett Jo one more time on that. Just wanted to give her props, give her flowers on that. I saw the new episode of Trainwreck came out this week on Netflix. This one was talking about the Project X that was inspired by the actual movie Project X, which I remember back in my high school days. Everybody was always talking about throwing a Project X, throwing a Project X. Stupid ass. You ain't going to throw no Project X. You don't even know 10 people. let alone 35,000 people. It took this broad making her birthday a public event on Facebook, and then other people copying and pasting it and coming from all around the Netherlands, which, by the way, that's where they tried to pull off an official Project X. But those idiots just ended up rioting in the streets. It wasn't a party. They had no house. They had no pool. They didn't even have a speaker. All they had was a bunch of cops staring at them get fucked up like, well, we can't do shit about this. And then all the kids were like, well, since there's nothing else to do, we're all drunk and fucked up. Why not? Let's start a riot. Turn on that 3 Days Grace song. Let's start a riot. But no, everybody that wanted to ever have a Project X, come on, dude. Go to Michael Rubin's all-white party. That's about the closest thing you're going to get to a Project X, buddy. Hate to be the bearer of bad news. But on Netflix as well, I saw that they put out the new season of Quarterbacks. And I'm already on the last episode. I love that. I love that show. I love all my sports documentaries and behind-the-scenes shows that they have. Absolutely love the Quarterback show. This season follows Kirk Cousins, Kirk O'Chains, Joe Burrow, Joe Beasy, and Jared Goff as well. I don't have a cool nickname for him. But you get to kind of see, for those that don't know, it starts with week 1, and then you get to see from the week 1 to the end of the season kind of where each of the quarterbacks are, kind of how the season takes its twists, takes its turns, the highs, the lows, the ups, the downs, all that. Personally, my favorite of the 3 quarterbacks in the show is Joe Burrow, but I've been having a lot of fun watching Jared Goff and Kirko as well. I love them too. Great show, though. If you guys love football, you guys love a little football, no, that's soccer. I got to always correct myself. But no, the Quarterback show is dope. Highly recommend checking it out. A lot of fun, about 50-minute episodes. I've been watching, like I said, I'm already on the last episode, and I'll probably go back and rewatch it too. It's kind of a comfort show, really, for me. But no, highly recommend checking out the Quarterback show and checking out that Trainwreck Project X episode. This Tuesday, they got the episode on Balloon Boy coming, so I'm excited to see how that one shapes up. I watched the movie over on Prime Video. I watched Heads of State with Idris Elba and John Cena. Now, that was a pretty good, it was kind of like The Other Guys, first of all. I would say if I had to compare it, it was definitely like The Other Guys. It wasn't as funny as The Other Guys, but it definitely had a lot of action as opposed to The Other Guys. So this one kind of leaned more into the action and not so much the comedy, or maybe it did. I just didn't really find shit funny. But I thought the chemistry overall, though, between Idris Elba and John Cena was really good. I really liked what they did. I thought it was a fun movie for what it was worth. You know, it's not an Oscar-worthy performance. I don't think they were going for a Screen Actors Guild Award. But at the end of the day, I thought Heads of State was a really solid, fun movie to watch. Thought John Cena did good. I thought Idris Elba, as always, did good. It didn't feel like Idris had to carry John either. So I thought that was pretty unique. And overall, I thought it was a nice, fun movie. And then that leads us to the new movie that came out today that was actually partially shot in a beach about 5 minutes away from my house and in downtown Cleveland about 20 minutes away from my house as well. That movie is Superman. James Gunn is now taken over the realm and decided to dip his toes into the Superman story. And from what I've been hearing, it's getting great reviews. Apparently, it's a lot better than Zack Snyder's performance, because I know that went over like a lead balloon. But I see a lot of people are talking about it. I see a lot of positive reviews. I see that the movie might have a little bit of a deeper meaning to it. I see the guy who played Lex Luthor supposedly knocked it out of the park. The guy who played Superman apparently knocked it out of the park. I know El Padrino up there, he's looking really forward to seeing it as well. It's definitely high up on my summer movie list to check out too. I'm looking really forward to it. And, you know, with the new Superman movie being out, you know, I always love asking you guys, what do you think is the worst? What do you guys think is the best of? What's your favorite? What's your least favorite? So let's have some fun with it, shall we? So with the new Superman movie coming out today, it got me thinking in the old noggin upstairs that what is your top 4 or top 5 or even just your favorite? Name me your top 1. What is your best superhero movie or movies of all time? As always, I'll start so we don't have dead silence. For number 1, give me Dark Knight. Heath Ledger, undefeated, unbeatable, can't be stopped, can't be dethroned. Number 2, give me its sequel. Give me The Dark Knight Rises. I've always said this. R.I.P. Heath Ledger, greatest Joker performance of all time, could never be duplicated or replicated. But if Heath didn't pass, I firmly do believe Tom Hardy's performance as Bane would have been held to an even higher regard because that's how close I have it to Heath's performance as the Joker. But give me The Dark Knight as my best. Give me Dark Knight Rises second best. For third all-time superhero movie, give me Avengers Endgame. Actually, scratch that. Give me Avengers Infinity War. Because I love it when Cap goes, whatever it takes. Number 4, give me Spider-Man 1 with the Green Goblin. So give me Dark Knight, Dark Knight Rises, Avengers Infinity War, and Spider-Man 1. Because those to me are the 4 best superhero movies of all time. I'm sure there's probably one I'm leaving out. I almost said No Way Home. But that story in Spider-Man 1 and just my memories of seeing that coming straight out of the AM kindergarten class, going straight to it with my Spider-Man shirt on. Man, nostalgia's got me smoked on that one. I can't go against the grain. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys got as your favorite superhero movies as all time and as your best, what you think is the best and your favorites as well. And I'm excited to see, because I know you guys will let me know what superhero movies you think are trash. Like, for example, I think anytime Ben Affleck had on the Batman costume, I don't know what he starred in, but if he had on that Batman costume, that was hands down the worst superhero shit of all time. I don't think Ben Affleck ever should have put on the bat suit, because the moment he put that suit on, it seemed like every character around him, Gal Gadot included as Wonder Woman, just all sank into the ground. So, for God's sake, please keep Ben Affleck out of any superhero costumes moving forward. But no, I was happy to get to share my favorite superhero movies right there. And before we close up out of here, we got 2 more last things to share. And one of them is talk a little fantasy football action. I'm curious to see what y'all think, because I've been getting chewed up in my fantasy league all week long ever since I've made this trade. And apparently it's the worst trade anybody's ever seen on God's green. So I want to see what y'all think and what everybody across all socials think as well. So here's the trade that everybody's got me just throwing in the boiler on, trying to cook my boots. We got Amari. So here's how the trade goes. I'll break down the trade from both sides. Keep in mind, it's a dynasty league as well. So with that being factored in, here's what we got. I traded Amari Cooper, Christian Watson, and a 2027 first-round pick. That's what I traded. In return, I received Aaron Jones, Rashad Bateman, and Kareem Hunt. And people are saying that I got fleeced. I'm the biggest bozo on God's green. I have no business playing fantasy football. I have no idea what football is. I have no idea about anything, and I'm the biggest stupid idiot on God's green earth and wherever Elon decides to colonate next. I personally think that everybody else is wrong. But what's new? First off, Amari Cooper's not on a team, and I don't need that much wide receiver depth at this given moment. Christian Watson is about as injury-prone as the guy from SpongeBob SquarePants with the glass bones and paper skin. And okay, the 2027 first-round pick, given that draft class is going to be spectacular, is probably the part where people kind of head scratch a little. But in return, I get Aaron Jones. I have Jordan Mason, so I already have his handcuff. So now I get Aaron Jones. I get Rashad Bateman, who, active and healthy. Watson and Cooper are not either of those things. And then I get just additional support. If he pops, cool. If he doesn't, oh well. I like Kareem Hunt. I'm from Cleveland. He grew up 30 minutes away from me. He can sit on my dynasty team for all I care. I love it. Go ahead and collect dust on the bench, brother. But I can't believe that people were really that up in smoke about how, and that heated over that trade. So if I'm missing something, let me know, because I'm excited to hear if you guys want to tear me apart on it too, or if maybe I can find some saving grace and get somebody to agree with me that I actually know what I'm doing when it comes to fantasy football, even though I have not won a championship yet and I've been playing for 7 years. Neither here nor there. But this is something that I definitely do know what I'm talking about, and normally we save the wrestling for bumps and bruises. But something I wanted to be known about that is for bumps and bruises, don't worry, we're still going live this week, but we're going live for a little bit longer than you'd even expect too. So tomorrow night for Saturday night's main event, Scotty Two Stone will be pulling up a chair with me, and we're going to be doing some bumps and bruises, live reacting and chatting Well, we got Saturday night's main event on in the background, and we will watch it in full with y'all. I'm looking really forward to doing that, and I know he is too. However, with 4 wrestling shows stacked in one weekend, you got NXT Great American Bash, you got AEW All in Texas, then you got Saturday night's main event, then Sunday you turn around and got Evolution 2. But remember, WWE is not trying to counter-program AEW. It's just a weird random coincidence that every time AEW books a show or an event, that WWE happens to just book around it on the same weekend, stack them up. Just a really weird coincidence that's happened about 15 times at this point. But one of the things I did want to share, only because I know we will not be able to go over it in depth tonight, so I figured we could save all the in-depth chat for tomorrow. So I just wanted to give a speed round through my Evolution 2 predictions, hot takes, and who knows, maybe even potential spoilers. So we're going to do a quick speed round here. We're going to kick it from the bottom. Evolution Battle Royal. A lot of women going to be in the match. Obviously, we're going to have some legends returning. I think you could see people like Kelly, Melina, Michelle McCool. I mean, really, the options are endless. Obviously, Nikki Bella, you're going to get an appearance from her. However, though, speaking of Nikki Bella, I do believe the winner of the Battle Royal, who will go on to get a championship match at Clash in Paris, I do believe will be, as Nikki Bella would say, Stephanie Vaquet. No, I think Stephanie Vaquer is going to do it. And then you got No Holds Barred. Jade Cargill versus Naomi. Looks like we might finally be getting that payoff. And I do believe Jade Cargill will beat Naomi and go over clean. You got a fatal 4-way women's tag team championship match, all brands included. You got Asuka and Kairi Sane, the Kabuki Warriors, versus Raquel and Roxanne Perez versus Blister, Alexa Bliss, and Charlotte Flair. And then you got 2 women that I am unfortunately not aware of what their names are just by looking at their faces. However, though, I do believe, and still, your women's tag team championship, it will be Raquel and Roxanne. Then you got the Women's Intercontinental Championship triple threat match, which I do believe has all the potential to steal the show. Nice, good old triple threat, as Becky would say. You got Lyra Valkyria, bad person, versus Becky Lynch versus Bayley, the boat. So, actually, that's Natty's gimmick. But on that one, for the 3-way for the Women's Intercontinental Champion, I got to go with, once again, and still, big-time Becky Lynch is going to get that W. For the NXT Women's Champion, we got Jacy Jayne versus Jordynne Grace. I do believe, if I'm correct, I do believe that Jordynne Grace should and will go over, meaning and new NXT Women's Champion, I do believe will be Jordynne Grace, which is well-deserved. Then for our 2 main events, we got the WWE Women's Championship on the line. We got Tiffy versus Trishy. Tiffy time versus Trishy time. Obviously, I know it's unfortunate they've only been able to build it up slowly or build it up fast, because I know that they've only had about a week and some change to build up this match. And I know that Trish voiced her opinion on that as well earlier this morning, actually. But Tiffy time ain't going nowhere. And still, your WWE Women's Champion, it's Tiffy time. And then for the main event, as we're getting ready to close out of here, Women's World Championship, we got Io Sky versus Rhea Bloody Ripley. And I really hope that by the end of the night, it's and still. But if I'm doing a prediction and I want to hit a bullseye on all these, unfortunately, I do believe and new WWE Women's World Champion, I do believe, will be Rhea Bloody Ripley. But I'm excited to see what your guys' predictions, hot takes, and potential spoilers are as well. Let it be known. And if you guys haven't already, hit that like, hit that subscribe, follow me on all socials, Took Lanku on everything, no matter where you want to find me at, you can find me there. And with that being said, 29 candles available now. So be it. Freestyle available now. Some of this pen EP coming soon. When Vampires Go Surfing available now. New merch available now as well. So if you guys haven't been able to dress like your demons all summer season, well, I don't know what to tell you. Go buy something already. And if you haven't already, I appreciate it. Keep the love high and the hate low. Wake up with a smile on. Remind yourselves of 3 things you're grateful for. Look in that mirror and say, I love you. Sleepless Radio episode 252 coming up in about an hour, actually. So I got to go get something to eat, get some grub, roll up a couple of blunts, get a brew cracked, and get ready to get into the zone and get your requests ready for tonight's episode, because I'm looking really forward to it. I'll have SmackDown on in the background as well. Tomorrow we're going live for Bumps and Bruises from the point that Saturday night's main event starts to the time that it ends. Looking really forward to it. So get your questions ready and get your requests ready for tonight. Keep the love high and the halo. Wake up with a smile on. Remind yourself to do things you're grateful for. Look in that mirror and say, I love you. That being said, I'm going to see y'all soon all aboard the Sleepless Art. Stay tuned. Stay blessed. Less stress. Peace.